Hi guys, welcome back. I'm so happy to do this video for you. I don't know if anybody will actually listen to this or read this or watch this, but yes, you can just listen to me. There's certain parts that I'm going to be skipping over, but there's certain parts that I am going to highlight. So let's go, my beautiful people. This is from the book called The Power of Awareness by Neville Goddard. And what we're going to be looking at is the law of assumption, guys. So let's go. All right, so this part says since what we believe to be the real physical world is actually only an assumptive world, it is not surprising that these experiments prove that what appears to be solid reality is actually the result of expectations or assumptions. Your assumptions determine not only what you see, but also what you do, for they govern all your conscious and subconscious movements towards the fulfillment of themselves. Now, this is highlighted in yellow, so it means it's important to me. I'm going to read it again. Your assumptions determine not only what you see, but also what you do. And I'm going to put my own sentence in there. And your assumptions also kind of dictate what you believe is available to you. For they govern all your conscious and subconscious movements towards the fulfillment of themselves. Interesting. Your assumptions are very powerful. And your assumptions can hinder you or help you to reach beautiful heights. Over a century ago, this truth was stated by Emerson as follows. As the world, oh yeah, this is the part I don't want to read. Okay. Right. Okay. Your particular relationship to another influences your assumptions with respect to that other and makes you see in him that which you do see. Interesting. If you can change your opinion of another, then what you now believe of him cannot be absolutely true, but is only relatively true. Relatively true. This is very interesting. The following is an actual case history illustrating how the law of assumption works. One day, a costume designer described to me her difficulties in working with a prominent theatrical producer. She was convinced that he unjustly criticized her, or criticized and rejected her best work, and that often he was deliberately rude and unfair to her. Upon hearing her story, I explained that if she found the other person rude and unfair, it was a sure sign that she herself was wanting, and that it was not the producer but herself that was in need of a new attitude. I told her that the power of this law of assumption and its practical application could be discovered only through experience. In other words, he's telling her she has to run her own experiment. And that only by assuming that the situation was already what she wanted it to be, could she prove that she could bring about the change desired. That's interesting. I didn't really get that part last time that I read this. Where is it? She said she was already what? And that only by assuming that the situation was already what she wanted it to be. Okay. Could she prove that she could bring about the change desired? Her employer was merely bearing witness, telling her by his behavior what her concept of him was. Okay, so this is actually talking about that whole mirror thing. Like they say, like the 3D is just a mirror of your thoughts. That's very interesting. I'm sorry, guys, but I need to read that again. And that only by assuming that the situation was already what she wanted it to be, could she prove that she could bring about the change desired. This is so powerful for me. It's like so important for me. And then he goes on to say, I suggested that it was quite probable that she was carrying on conversations with him in her mind which were filled with criticism and recriminations. There was no doubt but that she was mentally arguing with the producer, for others only echo that which we whisper to them in secret. And I find that part very interesting too. For others only echo that which we whisper to them in secret. Okay, I'm going to stop here. And then I'm probably going to go on to the next video. So guys, I wanted to see if all this jazz worked, okay? I have to make sure no one's listening to me because I'm about to talk about some personal stuff. All right. There was a girl who I was not getting along with, okay? She would like do stupid little shit to piss me off, right? And I had to live with this girl, and I just didn't like her because honestly, I find her to be a sociopath, okay? So I was like, So, she started doing some things, like more things that was like not good, right? So I was like, oh my God, I have to change the situation around. And it doesn't mean you have to like the person. You don't have to fucking like the person. But what you can do, because I'm telling you what I did, is I went into my imagination and I started creating these scenes where we were like really friendly to each other. And it's funny because it all began with me wanting to apologize to her, not because I really thought that I needed to apologize, but I have this whole thing about blaming myself. If I blame myself, then I can fix the situation, right? And it's not really that I'm blaming myself, it's just, it helps to mend the relationship, right? It helps to fix the relationship, right? Okay, so I went into imagination and I started seeing us getting along, saying hello, good morning, how are you, having conversations. And there's a reason why I named my channel Happy Manifesting. I believe that positive energy manifests much stronger and much faster than low vibrations like anger or hate or anything like that. So I made sure that all of our interactions in my imagination, in my playroom, that they were all high vibe, right? So, hey, how are you? How's everything? Just total high vibe, all positive, laughing together, having a good time, right? Because we actually were like that before all this happened, right? So I did have something to draw on in terms of making it real. Well, let me tell you, now we get along just fine. Now we talk to each other just fine. There's no awkwardness. She talks to me, I talk to her. We did have a little kind of weird moment, but I gave her some space and then I started talking to her again, because I took the responsibility in that, right? I took the responsibility to be the adult to mend the relationship because we were living together, not because I like her, but we were living together. And there was another girl at the same time that I was having the same problem with, and I was like, oh my God. So I went into my imagination. I saw us really, really getting along. Like I did a lot of like, oh, good morning, so and so. Like if her name was Patty, I would say good morning, Patty, and she would say back to me like, good morning, Mary. And I did a lot of good morning, Patty, good morning, Mary, good morning, Patty, good morning. Really high vibe, really feeling good, right? Would you believe the last one that I'm talking about? I get along with her so good now. And the first one, the sociopath girl, yeah, she's okay. And actually, now that this all happened, I appreciate her more. Really strange. I appreciate her more because I see she's the kind of person that actually does make an effort to get along. Yeah, it's a really strange situation. So guys, this stuff works. Do it. Yeah, do it. Good morning. How are you? Good morning. How are you? How's everything going? Really high vibe, really feeling good, and it will work. It worked for me with two people at the same time, and one of them is now closer to me in terms of relationship now because of it, you know? So it works, guys. Now, I still have to do some experiments on like changing my whole entire lifestyle. So I'm going to stick this out, guys, and try it for yourselves and let me know how it goes in the comments. Thanks, guys. Bye for now.